Hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on an early morning session. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and we're out in search of chub. The river, as you can see on screen now, is low and clear. We've got a few hours this morning before rain moves in at midday to try and get 1 or 2 chub on the bank. The target today really is just to get a bend in the rod and a chub on the bank. So again, thank you to everyone that understood what I said a couple of weeks ago about Joshua. He's actually playing at the Widnes Stadium tomorrow before the Hunslet game. So tomorrow is really out the question. We've got a whole day of rugby tomorrow. So this is really my window of opportunity on a Saturday morning to get out, get a bend in the rod. So as you can see here, the river is low and clear, but you can see how it does go to your advantage. You can see, you know, opportunities, and there's a chub just there moving upstream. I don't know if you can see him. There's a chub just moving up that far bank there, and there's one down there on the shallows. So the rod that I'm going with today is my Korum Classic rod. I've got the dreamcast reel on there and we've got 4-pound line. I've got that down to a 0.8 gram fine line afloat, nice and simple. I say dead simple to set up last night. I've got a bulk shot there with number 4 Dinsmore weights, and once we've plumbed up I'll add a few more on if we need them. And I've got a 4-pound hook link pre-tied, again them pre-tied rigs from Korum that I've got plenty of faith in. It was a tough choice between this and the Glide, but I just wanted to see how this rod does really and have a bit of fun with it and see how it handles these chub today. I did notice in the week the new Glides come out in the new release, and I'll put the link to the product release down below. So yeah, super excited to get out with one of them rods because I love the Glide. But today we're going with the Korum Classic. Let's see how it does. So the bait tray today, super simple. Rushed to the bait shop last night about 5:30, just before they were closing, and got myself 2 pints of red maggots. And I say real opportunistic session. I've got no hemp with me. I've got the bare essentials there, some weight, disgorger and a plummet. So the swim, put my maggots in here. We're right underneath an elderberry bush. I've seen a couple of chub mooching about, and we're just going to run alongside that bush there down to that snag. So not mummy or daddy chub that we were hoping for, but a nice little start. Chublet on the first cast, I'm not complaining. And there are 2 tactics with chub. You either feed heavy to get them in the mood to feed, or you completely starve them so they're competing for only a few maggots. At the start I'm just being a bit positive just to try and get them lined up. And the next trot through, I think that is a tiny chublet. I thought it was a dace to begin with and I got excited, which are great to see because this river has gone through changes. These and minnows and dace and the chub were prolific a few years ago, and then they kind of disappeared, so it's great to see a few of these fish in the river. And right beneath that elderberry bush, the float is buried, and elderberries are a great bait for chub. But you can see there we got a lovely bend in the rod, and that didn't half bury. So I bet if you fish with them elderberries you'd get them as well, because these fish will know all about them. I'm just taking my time trying to get it in. Obviously because it's only a short swim, we don't want to make too much commotion. The chub resting in the net. One thing I'm going to continue to do is just to put a few maggots in the swim just to keep it ticking over. Maybe attract the next one in, because he definitely won't be alone. So there we go, we won't bother holding him up for camera. That's a beautiful chub, that. Lovely on that rod. And yeah, these chub will be all over them elderberries, but one thing they do love are maggots. A sucker for maggots most definitely, but that is a beautiful chub, that. And by feeding that bit of bait into the swim, you go straight back in, and one of them sometimes he's just waiting for you, and that's exactly what's happened there. And those wily chub coming to the net. It's a sign of the season's changing, them white lips coming up like that. You'll hear me say it many times this winter, when it's dace and chub, it's just about repeating the process, having the right tactics, and yeah, bit of watercraft. And hopefully we keep feeding the swim while we take a look at this next chub. We can keep the bites coming. So simplest of tactics, the rod set up this morning, the Korum Classic, great to use. Simple float, some weight, a hook link and maggot, and that's chub number 2. And one of the biggest parts of watercraft is understanding what you're seeing. Them chub ate in the swim, because these little guys are about again. And that's the river just telling you what's in the swim at the moment. And then chublets disappear, and suddenly the float buries and you're into a proper chub. I'm keeping that rod tip under the water, keep it beneath the snag, and just let it tire itself out a little bit. You can see there, lovely bend in the rod, but we're keeping it nice and low. And the third rubber dub of the morning, and that is in excellent condition, that one. Beautiful chub, you've got all the lovely markings, and yeah, chub number 3, and already it feels a bit like mission accomplished. We've got that bend in the rod, a few of these beautiful chub on the bank. That one's taking a bit longer to come. Chub number 4, pristine. What a beautiful chub that is. So you can see there, we've added a few more chubs to that net, haven't we? That little bit of B-roll. And one good tactic is just giving the swim a bit of a rest and just giving it a bit of a break and just putting a bit of bait in like that and just keeping it ticking over and not putting a line through. Normally when you go straight back in, there's one waiting. And by giving that swim a rest, going straight in and hooked into a fish straight away. And today we set out for some opportunistic fishing, didn't we? And I think that's chub number 6. But you know it's going well when you lose count. Absolutely immaculate condition. And you see there, just hold him up a little bit. A proper chub. But yeah, beautiful fishing. And the plan definitely working. And I think there we've caught the baby of the shoal, but still welcome. And it's good to see fish of all sizes in the river. We've got them little chublets, the mum and dad. And great to see. If that was the baby of the shoal that we just had, then we've just hooked into mum or dad, I think, because this is putting up one hell of a battle. You see there, needing all that stopping power in the rod just to keep it from getting in that snag. And there we go, much better than that last one. Definitely not a baby chub, and a great fight on that rod. Heading for that snag, he definitely knew where home was, most definitely, and amazing just how many fish can be under one little snag, isn't it? You can see there how much fight this one's got. It's fighting in the net with me while I'm trying to blog it. But again, another beautiful chub, that one. Let's get him straight back. Definitely turning into a red letter session. I think that's number 7 or 8. When you're losing count, you know it's going well. But look at the lovely colours on that, and definitely you can feel a chill in the air as the weather's changing as we move towards midday. And that weather's moving in now, but yeah, happy Danny. So conditions are really changing now that weather's beginning to move in. Give the swim a really good rest, a good 20 minutes of just feeding maggot. Really trying to eke out the last of the fish that might be in that swim. And I've gone straight in and the float's buried. And yeah, it's been a really enjoyable few hours on the bank, and you can see there when they see the snag, they go for it, and the rod's got that power just to tease them back upstream. But for this river, that is a proper chub, proper made up with that, and a lovely wave. That's the last one to end the session. I'm going to give it another half an hour, see if we can pick up any more stragglers, but yeah, that is definitely grandpa chub for this river. What a beautiful chub that is. Let's get him straight back. Towards the end of the session, managed to pick up one more chub, and as you can see from the final net, a beautiful net of pristine chub on the stick float. The next day we were at the Widnes Stadium where Joshua was playing rugby. We stayed to watch the under-18s, and then the proper Widnes Vikings play Hunslet. It was a lovely day to be out with my little man. So it's a Thursday evening, you join us after rugby. Josh has done some training, we've got a game at the weekend, haven't we, mate? And all we've got to say is, tight lines in your own fishing. We hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.